Let's see. Hello, hello. Remember to refresh your phone too. Let's see, is it going to work? This is the first time I used this to go set up live video. Oh my gosh, it's not. Oh, there we are. Here we are.
Yep.
Oh, that's on your phone.
Got it.
Hi everybody, how are you? Say hello as you jump on. I have Miss Rebecca here. I have Miss Haley here. Lean in, Miss Haley, because I was so bad I'm a little dyslexic about the screens. There's Haley.
Haley's
Hi,
here.
can you set a desk like right here? Say hello as you're jumping on. There's our ladies. Hey Dana, hey Michelle, hey Carolyn. I just mailed something to you today, Carolyn. Again, Bonnie, yay, she's excited. We're happy to have you. Hi Saja, how are you? Did I say that right? Hey Debbie, Connie, we missed everybody. Pam, Lynn, Tammy from Southern California, hello. Melissa, hello. How is everybody? Robin, Dean, Jan, Michelle, Julie from Louisiana. Yes, say where you're from, guys. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Nancy from Villages, Florida. I know exactly where that is. Yay. Say hello, Rebecca.
Hi. Are you looking at the tape?
Huh?
The tape?
I've just looked at my computer so
okay.
far. So they're
so
just seeing the top of my rooted head. So I haven't had my hair done since before our last workshop. Just saying. We had members weekend this past weekend, and our members flew in from all over the country. We had so many that were about 2,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was shocking. We had such a wonderful time with everyone. So there hasn't been time for much.
No.
And it was just last week. So busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the best time, though.
It was the best time. We have the most amazing members. Everybody was just... It was the first time we did it, and we felt like we had known everyone for years, like in person.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like meeting them for the first time. It was so crazy. Let me see. Also from Louisiana. Oh, hi, Karen. How are you? It's flipping up so fast. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Make sure you say hello. We're going to have prize wheels, lots of prizes tonight. Let me see. You're going to pick up your kit this week. It is ready, Debbie. I remember seeing it. From Virginia, hi Jean, how are you? Hi Cora, how are you? Philly suburbs. We have people from all over. Alabama, hi Viddy. Cindy from Michigan, Debbie from Michigan. We have a lot of people from Michigan, like in our membership too. We have a lot of people. Let me see, another Alabama, two more Michigans. Pittsburgh, David Johns. He's a friend of mine. Hi David, how are you? It's nice to see you. Now I'm looking all over. We got screens all over, so I look crazy. So I never, like all these, like through 3 years, I have to say this because it's so funny. I never looked at the right part on the iPad when we were live. Never, never, never. And then one day, Rebecca says to me, she was like, my husband said, who is she talking to? Because I was looking at the, so she puts like a really big piece of tape up there.
Yeah,
and I still
look at the tape.
Yeah, now I'm looking at other stuff. I'm sorry.
Lots of stuff.
It made me laugh so hard though. Oh my goodness.
That's hilarious.
I'm kind of a hot mess. It's raining here. We've all been rained on. You know, in the evening we're kind of like a hot mess. Oh, hi Linda, Lakeland, Florida. I've been there many times. We used to live in Sarasota. Hey, Jen from New York. Hello. Hi, Kim. Hey, Luann. Hi, Wanda. How are you doing? Okay, guys, so we're excited. So this is Beginners Bootcamp 1. As you're coming on, please still say hello. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Chris. How are you? Hi, Julie. Now I can see him over there. I can actually read that from here. That was shocking. So those of you that aren't familiar with us, we have a beautiful studio here about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh where we teach just about every single day. We have a paint your own pottery studio. We also do things with, we do events with our friends with disabilities. We work with surrounding schools as well, with the IUs and just all the other classrooms. And we do quite a bit. We're pretty busy. busy.
Yep.
And we also have an online membership that we work with. I paint with every single week, and I love that so much. They've become our painting family just as much as the people that have been coming to our studio since we started. So we had so much fun with them last week at our members weekend. If you have not signed up for the Beginners Bootcamp, you can sign up for free if you go to kchq.com. So if you go there, you can sign up for free and you'll get an immediate link. So check your spam and your promotions folder to our library. So you get a free link to our library, and it will be in the free tutorials, I believe, not boot camps, right? It's in boot camps for our members. But
boot camps for members, and it'll be in the free tutorials. Actually, I believe it is in boot camps for the free tutorials as well.
Oh, okay. So you'll get a folder that'll have a suggested supplies list. And if you don't have the supplies that we're using, it's totally fine. There's a paint, like if you click on paints, it'll give you swatches of colors. So you can use anything that's close to that as well. Or you can improvise and be creative and use other colors. That's totally fine. It also has a free color mixing video in there that I did as well in our membership. And then it has the stencils in there. You also have a photo. Look, I'm still dyslexic. You have a photo of what we are going to accomplish at the end of this as well. You have our supplies list. Look, it's still so bad.
It's all right. Look for the tape.
Look for the tape, even with the paper. It's like, listen.
It's okay.
I know, it's so bad. So since we're working on a 12 by 16 canvas, we're actually working on this. Can I push this over a little bit to show them the painting? I'm going to hold this up, actually. So I'm going to hold this up. This is the painting you're going to accomplish during this workshop. So we're going to go over how to use your paints, how to use your brushes. We're going to talk about how to build a three-dimensional painting with very simple strokes. And so we're going to work on this painting in the midst of this. By the end of the third day, you'll be able to paint this painting beautifully. I promise you. Those of you that have never painted before, never picked up a paintbrush before, can't draw a stick figure, you're going to be able to paint this. I promise you. Our members will tell you that you can definitely paint this. Okay.
Becky wants to know:
goal.
are we painting the tree freehand?
So we are, yes. So I'm going to teach you how to paint trees. Don't worry about it at all. So a couple of exciting things here. Let me see. I have a little thing for this up here. So we are going to give away prizes if you can share the live. I'm going to put this up. So by sharing the live, you're going to get entered into winning a free month of HQ.
Ooh.
So make sure you share the live, like our page, and comment shared. Okay, so you need to comment shared. You're going to get 3 opportunities if you share each day to win a free month of HQ. We're going to do a few drawings for a free month of HQ as well.
Ooh,
yes, so exciting. I love when you have sound effects.
So many. I
So
get a
many.
little more gutsy when there's something else on the screen myself.
Makes me laugh.
Then you don't know if it was me or Haley. That's true.
So funny. You always make me laugh. So the other things that we're going to give away is we're going to give away Casey Cash, which you can use in our app. So here's our app. You can download the app in the App Store. There's a QR code that my daughter made there. Yeah. You can download the app in the App Store, and we're going to put $5 of Casey Cash into your account, and we're going to randomly pick those winners. So we have that. We're also going to give away, I can take our website off of there. We're going to give away packs of KCK brushes. So we have KCK brushes as well. And we also have, let me see here. Wait, I went back to the app. Hold on one second. I have to go back to us. Hold on. We have, I clicked the wrong button. I moved them all around today.
Okay.
These are our dome brushes as well. They're fantastic for working on several things. So working on landscapes, clouds, centers of flowers, things like that. So we're going to give away some of our brush line today as well, and a couple other things.
Yeah.
So I have to put these back on the app. We do have them back in stock, but they're not on the app yet. It's been too busy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all have this shirt on.
Well, I forgot mine. I'll be prepared tomorrow.
She'll be prepared
grabbed
tomorrow.
mine.
So you were in black as also. Okay, so we're gonna give away some t-shirts. So you'll have to let us know your sizes. This is our lift off shirt. We gave all the members this one for members weekend. And so this is our Trust the Process shirt, because I'm constantly saying to trust the process, okay?
Because it looks crazy at the beginning.
It does.
But if you just trust,
yes,
we'll be good.
So I have a method to my madness on how I build paintings, and so everybody could walk. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of paintings in here, and so you would be able to walk in the door or online, paint every single one of my paintings, even if you've never picked up a paintbrush before. So what I need you to do is trust the process, like trust what I'm telling you, because you're going to end up with a painting that you love and that you want to hang on your wall. And that's another reason for going live on our public page, to show people that they can do it too. I want you to know that you can paint too. And painting is so like, I don't feel normal unless I paint something, create something new.
It's true.
And it's true. And I don't know if I'm normal, but I don't feel
Nobody's
but
normal. Nobody's normal.
But it's so relaxing. So if you haven't tried it before, try it, because it's an amazing feeling to be able to sit there, decompress, and put everything into your paintbrush and your canvas.
Well, Deborah said that trees are scary.
Trees.
She's a little intimidated by the
Listen,
trees.
so I hear that a lot, that people worry about painting trees. I have simple steps in order to paint the trees. You're going to be shocked that you're going to be able to do it, Deborah, so don't worry. A lot of our ladies can attest to that. I paint with a membership group. We have about 650 women in a group that I paint with all across the country on a weekly basis, and they can tell you, you've probably seen some of their beautiful paintings I just put up this last week, and man, they've been busy. Like, our feed is going all the time, and so you're going to see that you can do it too, I promise. Before you know it, when you start painting with us, even within a short period of time, you'll look at something outside and you'll be like, I know how to paint that, because we're going to give you the tools in order to be able to paint things that you see on your own as well. And before you know it, like, you'll be able to look at a painting that I create and you'll be able to be like, I know how she made that. I know how she built that. And so I want to show you that you can do it too. All right. So please share the live, like the page, and comment shared so we can enter you into the prize wheels. On the last day, we're going to do 2 or 3 prize wheels, but we're going to give away prizes randomly too. Okay. So a couple of things. I don't want to talk because I always talk so long in the beginning.
So it's 12 after.
See, I talked for 12 minutes already.
But we're waiting for people to get on.
So if you're just getting on too, say hello. Excited to learn new techniques. I love to see that. Okay, now I'm like, which do I have glasses on or not glasses? Because I can see that up there. Hey, Cindy Zuza, how are you? Thank you for sharing. And we'll keep repeating that throughout so people know that are just jumping on. And maybe type that in there if you don't mind, okay? So if you guys want to type about the sharing on there, also give the link to the app. Maybe
and the sharing just helps with getting exposure, and if you have friends that like to paint,
Yeah, that's nice too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so what you got in your library is you got stencils to print out. It automatically prints out 6 pages for you. So when you're can you wheel this over? When you're working on a 16 by 20 canvas, it's going to spit out 6 pages for you. I actually added today, and I should have done this before, how to transfer your stencil. And so there's a video in there on how to do it, where you're cutting, okay? And then you're gonna tape it together. You have a reference photo as well. It's like putting a puzzle together. And then you're going to get white, when you're working on a black canvas, you're gonna get white carbon paper. You can get it from Amazon or Walmart. It's fairly inexpensive, and you can just take a ballpoint pen and trace it onto there. Now there's a video in your library that says that. Okay, you have your supply list. Like I said, you can click on the paints, and it'll give you colors that you can look for that you already have that are similar as well. So don't feel like if you have craft paints, it's totally fine. You don't have to use the same paints that we use, okay? I do suggest a thicker white. It makes your life a little bit easier. Thicker white, yeah. And so we'll be using, these are our paintbrushes that I showed up on the screen. Look, I'm dyslexic. We'll be using these. They are helpful. You can ask our members of those that have the brushes. They're helpful in making the strokes a little bit easier for you, easier to get the job done. You'll see too that I use the largest brush for the job, so I do the least strokes, but you use what brush you're comfortable with as we go as well, okay? Let me see. Did I miss anything?
Desi asked what size canvas you're using.
Sure, and so that's on the supplies list as well, Desi, and it's a 16 by 20, a 16 by 20 black canvas, okay? And also, if you guys can link to this maybe too, if you go to our website, because a lot of people want to know the supplies that we're using exactly. So it's in your library, the supplies that we're using, but say you want to know what sea sponge we use or what, gosh, there's so many on there. What links to the paintbrushes, links to the colors, everything. We have a on the bottom of our website page, which is KCKHQ. If you scroll to the bottom, it says my favorite things, and there's links to everything we use in there, down to like the paint towels. Okay, like everything we use is on there, so you can check that out. Okay, we made that public just recently as well. Okay, all right. Are you ready, ladies?
I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay.
What are you working on today? I'm excited to see. I've never painted this one.
Oh, that's true. You have.
Haley has.
Haley, you have this. Listen, these come out beautiful. Like we've had this in class in the past.
Yep.
This is something that's in our membership. They have it pre-recorded already.
And this is one that when I was first starting out, and it's one of my absolute favorites.
Oh, I love that.
So I
love that. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to, so here's the paints that are on the paint list. The things that we left out so they don't dry up. Well, actually, we do need magenta. Okay. Sorry about that. We need a popsicle stick. That's okay. So what we need are the colors that are on your supply list. We won't use them all today, all right? But these are on your supplies list, okay? So let's get
What if you have a white canvas instead of a black canvas? Is it okay?
I would say to paint it black because you're gonna have less work if you paint it black first. We use something called black gesso. That's on our favorite things too on our website. And you can put 2 coats of that on there with a foam brush or even any wide brush and start with that, okay?
And someone said when they gesso, it gets it a little too textured. Is that good?
That's totally fine. So when they gesso,
they gesso the canvas black, it gets too textured.
So the gesso's probably too thick. Maybe add a little bit of water to that if it's getting too textured. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To desired texture.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the colors I'm using. I can't hold it in the right spots, but I'm going to show you my plates. All right. And so we're gonna work on how to use your brush first, how to use your paints when we're watering them, when we're dry brushing. I'm gonna teach you about that. But I have white. I'm gonna go to my easel really quick. Okay. Okay. Here we go. What do I have up on here? I'm like, email us. Yeah. Okay, let me adjust this really quick. I'm just gonna go over here. All right, so on my plate, I have white, black. I have, what was that?
Kathy said Haley was so helpful.
Aww.
When she was signing up for the, she was having issues signing up for boot camp.
Oh, that's so nice. Haley's wonderful. She does such a great job. I have a raw sienna, which is a light brown. We have a Van Dyke brown, which is a dark brown. We have a sap green, or you can use sap green or middle green. I have a magenta, which is a hot pink. I have an orange. I have a purple, this one is Purple Lake. And I have a red, which is permanent red. I have a flesh. This is used in the sunset. You can easily mix this by using orange, a little bit of pink and white, and you can make a flesh color, okay? I have a dark purple here, which is dioxazine violet. And these are all the colors that are in this painting, okay? So, but let's start on a couple of other things first, all right? So I'm just gonna get a white canvas right here, okay? So I'm gonna talk a little bit about like how to use your brushes, pressure on your brushes. And so we just opened a new pack of brushes. Why didn't I just go to the brushes? I'm like, let me open a new pack of brushes. Okay. All right. So you guys interrupt me if you need anything at all, okay?
Do you know which paints you're going to be using today in case you don't want people to open all their paints if they got a kid? Or?
So let me talk about that. So we are... I'm trying to think how far we'll probably get today. We're definitely going to use the purple and the pink and the whites And then as we go, I can let you know the other ones, okay? Also, if you have any questions at all, let me know. Also, if you're just jumping on, make sure you share so you're entered into winning a free month of our HQ membership, which is a vault of, I don't even know how many videos anymore.
A lot.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. It's well over 500, and then there's another 500 technique tutorials, but we have over 500 tutorials, full tutorials with stencils, supplies list. Most of them have notes. Like there's a lot in there.
Before
So-
you get started, real quick, a couple people had issues with the stencil not coming to the end of the canvas.
So that generally has to do with the printer and like having the margin around there, and it's actually totally fine. What you can do is, this is easy to extend. That was one of the reasons why it's laid out the way it is. You can extend the truck just a little bit further. You can also extend the barn door in the barn and just replicate what's on this side a little bit further. I'm pulling that wrong again. So Haley smacked herself in the face. So you can extend that. It wouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So it generally has to do with people's margins on their printers. Okay. All right. So did you have another question?
Nope.
Are you sure?
We're good.
Okay. Listen, usually one's on the phone and one's here. And so it's really
Yeah.
nice that you guys can like,
Yeah.
you know, I love that. Let me see. Yes, Danielle Howard, that is a great comment. She says she's painted with Deco Art and Academy acrylics and they turn out just fine. She paints beautifully. She's in her membership. You don't have to use these paints that are on the list. You just want to match up your colors. That's all.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go here. So I just want to talk about like how to hold your brush initially. This is our 1-inch brush. What you want to do is you want to hold it down by the metal. Even if you're painting something very loosely, you still want to hold your brush down by the metal. If you have a shaky hand, listen, I get shaky. And by the way, I cut all my nails off last week for Members Weekend.
Oh,
'cause I couldn't
man.
get it. So I'm sorry for the bad nails. But if you have a shaky hand, what you want to do is anchor your hand on a dry part of the canvas, okay? Anchor it, and then you can steady yourself. I have a very extensive spinal cord injury. Depending on how much I've used my arms that day is how much I'll shake. I can still always paint. There's never a time I can't paint. And so it may not always look pretty to you guys when my hand's shaking, but I can still steady my paintbrush. We have a lot of people with Parkinson's or essential tremors that can paint with us, so don't feel like you can't. When I get water from my cup, unless I'm washing my brush, I'm only putting water on the tips of my brush because water gets held in this ferrule right here where it's clamped down on the bristles. So you just want to put it on your tips, okay? The other thing is, majority of the time what you're doing is you're pulling your paint off to the side, all right? You're not going in the chunky paint very often, all right? So we're gonna pull the paint off to the side. So I'm gonna pull a little bit of my purple off to the side. First, let's talk about when we're blending colors. Like if you want an ombre, you wanna make a sunset, all right? You're gonna put the tip of that brush into the water, put it in this side pile, and then you're gonna start on your canvas here. Now this is a really dry canvas. I always talk about how the 12 by 12s are so dry anymore from all the suppliers, and that's one I picked out of the cover.
Oh, no.
Out of our canvas cover. So say I'm starting, I wanna do, we're gonna work on the sunset afterwards. You're gonna make long strokes, lifting off, lifting off, lifting off, all right? Then you're gonna grab a little bit more water. You're gonna go to the pink, all right, leaving the purple in the brush. And you make long strokes again. You're not pressing hard, and when you have a dry canvas like this, you can either add a retarder into your paint, and if you have questions on that, just let me know, or you add a little bit more water like I'm doing right now, okay? So I'm just lifting off as I'm going up. So can you go in the canvas closet
Yeah.
and get me another white canvas that's not a 12 by 12? Because
Yes.
I don't care for these canvases that are really dry and porous. Ever since COVID, they started making them a little cheaper, and I don't care for it. But whenever I am adding another shade, I start underneath it and I take my pressure off as I go up. If I'm pressing hard, you're gonna see where I stop. Do you see that? Like right here and here, you're gonna see where I stop. So that's why we have the shirts. That's why we even have this button. Lift off, lift off, lift off. So that way you're making a feathered mark at the end, okay? So say I want this to get a little bit lighter as I come down. I'm gonna grab a little white and I'm going to put it in that side pile, okay? So I'm gonna go under here and I'm gonna lift off. The reason why you're doing this is so you don't have a line in between the colors, that they fade, like you're ombreing it. Lift off, lift off. Oh, I'll take one of these.
I wasn't sure.
I'll take
Yeah,
it. Yeah, thank you. We don't care for these dry canvases. Listen, someone sent me a video of, there was a person, he was in a reel. I don't know who sent this to me. And he literally was coughing like smoke out or chalk out, saying how dry the canvases are made anymore.
Oh, man.
And it's so true. We should write the manufacturers or something. They've been like that forever.
Does it just swallow the paint? Like,
So no, it actually like beads up on the paint,
Gotcha.
So guys, I'm gonna talk, so this is if you're blending colors, all right? I'm gonna talk a little bit about when you're dry brushing. So we use, let me talk about something else first. So there is a lot of talking on day one because I want you to understand a few things, like reasoning for things. When you're building a painting, you want to make sure you're not color blocking anything, okay? So we may color block some things on the truck to start with, but then we're gonna build up some color, make some areas brighter.
what do you mean by color
Color blocking, what I mean by that is you can have all one shade. Well, we don't want all one shade.
Right.
And so if you have something all one shade in your painting, it's going to look flat. We don't want our painting to look flat. We want our painting to look three-dimensional. So you want to think for every painting, like, where is the light hitting? So if I'm right in front of this light and it's showing all my, sweat. So the light's hitting me here, hitting me here, hitting me here. But there's shadows, like there's going to be a shadow under my chin. There's going to be a shadow under my nose. So with the truck, like we have a fender here. If we can bring this up closer. We have a fender here where there's going to be, a little bit of a shadow as it goes back there. When something's darker, it looks like it's further away. If something's brighter, it either looks like it's closer to you, or it also looks like the light's hitting it as well. Those are the two reasons. But you need to, if you look, wait until you see how we build this barn. Like, so easy, so fast, and leaving areas that are dark. I do love, I'd say probably 50% of our paintings are our black canvas, not all of them, but I do love to work on a black canvas because you already have that depth in there,
So you're cheating.
Yes.
Strategy.
She makes me laugh.
It's strategy.
All right, I'm going to go to my canvas. Let's give away a prize.
Okay.
Give away a prize. Well, all right. Okay.
I have a question first, real quick.
Sure.
No, you're good. You can keep painting if you want. I was just gonna say it's about painting.
Okay.
Obviously, how do you get away with using so little paint? I use so much paint.
So when we dry brush, I'm going to show you right now. So that's a perfect question for right now.
Okay.
Okay, and pick a winner.
All right, prize winner Jean Wolf Prue for $5 in Casey Cash.
Okay, here's the app. You can just scan that QR code on the top right. You'll get $5 deposited into your account. Miss Haley is going to add a Google form as a reply to your name, and you'll be able to give us your email address. That's what you gather, right?
Mm-hmm.
And name, and we'll drop the money into your account, okay? And then you can order kits on there, paintbrushes, or anything like that. All right, so
Cool.
I'm gonna go here. Thank you. And interrupt me in a few minutes so we
Sure.
so we can do another one. So I'm gonna grab, I have my 1/2-inch flat brush from the pack, and so I'm gonna grab a little bit of my magenta. I'm gonna pull a little bit of my white. So this is, did you say Jean was asking?
About how to use a little paint?
Yeah.
I think that was Michelle.
Michelle, okay. So Michelle, so see my pile here? It's very, very small, all right? Let me draw in, let's do a little circle, okay? Oh my, where did this red paint come from? The pencil was in red paint. I have my paintbrush in my mouth because there's red paint everywhere. Not sure how. Not sure where that came from. All right, so let's draw a little circle here, all right? Just interrupt me when you need to. I don't know where that came from, I'm all red. All right, so what we're gonna do, whenever you're making a nice edge on something, that's when you'll have your brush like straight up like this, okay? So I'm gonna go around in a circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush. So I'm going to use the back of the brush. I talk about this a lot online and in my in-person classes. Don't hold the brush when you're getting into the center straight up and down. You want to hold it like this, and you're going to lift off like this, because then you're going to get just a little paint and you're not going to get the marks, all right? So we want to follow the shape of what we're working in, and we want to build up the color. And I'm going to show you how to build up the color to make it look three-dimensional. The red paint. Now I'm afraid of the red paint.
Oh no.
And so I'm just using the back of the brush. You can see I have very little paint on there, very, very little paint. And I'm going to pull around and I'm going to lift off. And then I'm going to show you how to add more paint to make this look more three-dimensional. Like the light, say I think the light's hitting the very top part of this. I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So, but I'm just grabbing a little bit of paint each time, all right? And then, like I said, when you're making an edge, that's when you can go straight up and down with your brush, all right? But then when you're dry brushing and using just a little paint, use the back of it. And if you guys need me to zoom in at all, let me know.
What if someone forgot the magenta paint? Can they create it?
Yeah, so you can you can put a little red with white and a touch of purple in there. You can't get a very like bright magenta by mixing it. It's usually, that's the pigment, you know, that comes in the paint. But that's one thing I talk about. It's hard to get this bright color, but you can definitely mix a pink, you know, a brighter pink. This Soho magenta is gorgeous.
Yeah, you love that one.
I do.
So thick.
It is so thick.
I don't like it for packing purposes.
Yeah, that's true, because you gotta spoon it. You can't squirt it. We have magenta that's a Lucas paint also, but this one is my favorite. There's a couple Soho paints I still use. It's kind of priced out of using in big classes for all Soho paint. Lucas paints are pretty thick, and so are Creative Inspirations. But this, I do, one thing, let me talk about this really quick too. So if you're using craft paints, the only thing I suggest is that you use a thicker white, like a Creative Inspirations or a Lucas white, because it'll make your job easier to create a lot of paintings, because the white is the one thing that we do use thick, you know.
Okay.
Sometimes we use chunky paint. So I'm gonna get a little bit of white and I'm gonna go around the edge. So like say my light is hitting up here, I'm just gonna follow my shape and I'm gonna lift off, but you're always following your shape with your stroke. But see how like I can leave this dark down here, I can make this brighter up here. Now that needs to get a little tacky dry, which is, you know, within a minute or two. Then you can go back and you can highlight that even more on that edge to make it look like the light is hitting that. The other thing that you can do, if you wanted to make this look like it's round right here, like coming out towards you, then you would start, you know, you could add, it's a little wet right now, but you can start adding a little bit of white to the center. And we talk about too, when you're lifting off, make sure that one stroke's long, one stroke shorter, one stroke's longer, one stroke shorter. The reason why I say that is if you wanted to build this up like in the center, what you want to do, this is too wet to take any more paint right now, but what you want to do is you want to start and stop at different spots. Because if you start and stop at the same spot, and this is for anything that you're working on, not just the circle, you'll build a block in there. So you need to lift off at different points on both sides, okay? I'll come back to this when it's a little bit dry, okay? So while we're here, let's put in part of our painting. What do you guys think?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's blend a little, all right? So we're gonna start at the top of the painting. I need to get this.
Blending's hard.
Blending is not hard, my friend. So Rebecca takes herself back to when she first painted.
Blending's difficult. Well, and then I see the comments too. People do say blending can be tough.
It can be tough until you know, get your technique.
Teach us your ways.
Yes, okay. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to start with purple. Since we're on a black canvas, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of white to it, okay? Then we're going to ombre down. We're going to add the magenta, then we're gonna add some orange, and then we're gonna add some flesh. So if you don't have this flesh color, you can always mix it, okay? You can take a little bit of orange, a little bit of red, and your white, and mix it. I used to never have a flesh because we use this for like, you know, for all of our gnomes.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so, but Creative Inspirations flesh is pretty close. But before that, we used to mix it. So it's a little too much red. Wipe that on your paint towel. But we would mix it. There you go. So you can just mix that flesh. All right, right here. But I always mix very small piles of paint, guys. Very small piles of paint because you can get your color. And then people ask me, well, like, what if I can't make that color again? Well, it's okay because we want our painting to look three-dimensional. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. I don't know if you remember when I created this painting, it was in the middle of the night. I put a sketch up on Facebook, and then by morning I was done. What's the matter?
Okay. Were you pointing towards the top?
No, I was just holding on to it.
Oh,
for
okay.
me.
Because
Yeah,
somebody said
sorry.
they couldn't see the top.
Oh, no, here.
You were just grabbing onto it.
Yeah, I was just grabbing it, but
Gotcha.
it wasn't down enough. Okay, so guys, we're gonna start up here. What I want you to do, so when we're working on this black canvas, I want you to leave a little bit of black where the chalk lines are. So where you trace this, mine's chalk, but because we use a lumen projector, but if you use carpeting paper, just leave a little bit of black where that is. We can always black things back out as well if you pull through. I don't suggest tracing the tree first. I'm gonna show you how to make a tree. That's gonna be our next thing, okay? All right. Go
Quick
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
What do you consider craft paints? I know you've said that a few times.
So like the paints that come in the smaller bottles that are a little bit thinner, there's all different brands. There's Deco Art, there's, can you guys name
Apple
some?
Barrel.
Yes, yes. Can you think of any
That's all,
others?
the Plaid.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Look
all-
at you.
That's it.
But
I like
you
that.
can use any paints you want. We have color swatches for all the paints, so you can just match it up to the color or change the color. So I'm gonna pull out a little bit of purple. Since we're on a black canvas, I'm gonna take a little bit of white and I'm gonna put it in there, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're not gonna put our whole brush in the water. I'm gonna put the very tip of my brush in the water and then put it in this side pile, maybe 2 times, all right? Because we want this paint to go on nice and smooth. If you don't put white into this on the black canvas, it's going to dry a little bit darker than what you would think, and so you would have to go over it again. All right, so we're going to make long strokes. If we go into our silo just a little bit, it's okay. We're going to clean it up afterwards. All right, long strokes.
Very nice.
Thank you, ma'am. We always have fun with the workshops. You know, so much fun. You guys always make me laugh too.
Yeah,
We just have such a good group online. So in between here, you know, you're just gonna try not to wipe everything out, but I don't want, this is what I don't want you to have to do. You can, if you're gonna make a line here, okay, and you're not lifting off around there, but you wanna make a line, you're gonna have to pull this back over, still going left or right. So does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You're lifting off also, lifting off. Otherwise, you're going to create stop marks in there. So as I go, I'll keep pulling out a little bit of paint, okay? Any questions?
What brand of paint are you using?
So right now I'm using Creative Inspirations. The magenta is actually a Soho paint. I do like the pigment of it, but Lucas paints, Lucas Magenta is pretty close to it though. And you guys, can you type the link to our favorite things, and I'll have all the paint colors in there. And it's also in our library. If you want to type how to download or how to get the free library with all of the stencils and supply list as well, that would be great.
Do you wet your brush each time you get paint?
So when I'm working on a sunset, yes, because we need this a little watered down to make sure it goes on nice and smooth. So I'm grabbing a little bit of water every time. And do you see my brush angle? It's on its side, okay? It's not straight up and down. I'm gonna get this a little bit brighter right in this area. Any other questions?
Bonnie said she likes Soho.
Hi Bonnie, I love Soho paints. I have to tell you, when I first started this, when I first started the painting classes in the studio, that's all I used was Soho. I loved it so much. All their colors are very brilliant. And so, but over time, within a couple of years, they just kept raising the price of Soho paint so high that it just wasn't feasible because I didn't want to raise my costs of my classes. And so, but I have to tell you, it is one of my favorite paints. So if you have to go straight up and down here, then you need to pull over this way, okay? And it doesn't have to be a solid color. Like the sky is generally not like real solid, you know? You know what go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just lost it. Oh, Sue asked, should we only paint right to left and not up and down?
Definitely not up and down right here. I don't think it would serve us well here. So with the sky, if you look at things like the clouds and the sunsets, any lines or information that you see in the sky are usually horizontal. So I would definitely stick with horizontal here. Okay, that's a great question. So I'm also going to go to my magenta. Now the magenta, since I have Soho, is a very thick paint, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm adding water to this a few times. I still have my purple on my brush as well. So where am I going to start? I'm going to start underneath where I last was. And then I'm going to take my pressure off as I'm going into my purple. That way it's going to just fade into there. What happens is, and I walk around classrooms and I look at this to make sure that no one has a line dividing the purple, you know, from the magenta. So we want to make sure there's not a line in between the two shades. If you have a line, take a little bit of your purple, a little bit of your magenta, and go right through that line, okay?
Now, since this is Beginners Bootcamp,
Yep.
now, what do you mean by lifting off, Casey?
Lifting
I know
up.
that you
So
went
I'm
over
going
a
to
few
show
times.
right now, so what you don't want to do and what you do want to do, okay? So if you are pressing hard, so this is something normal for new painters. They want to press hard, they want to use a lot of paint, they want to press hard. So if you're pressing hard and you pull off, I'm going to hold this up so you can see that. Well, this is such a big canvas, let me move it around like this. You see that? So you're seeing exactly where I stopped on both sides, okay? So if I'm lifting off every single end of my stroke, lifting off, you're not going to see that stroke, okay? So keep asking me,
gotcha.
guys, ask every question that you would like to, because there's a lot, you know, to learn when you're starting to paint, or even if you have been painting a long time, but you want to start painting like a little bit looser, but still having like paintings that look difficult and more three-dimensional. So please feel free to ask any questions that
Desi
you
said it's coming off as blue, like maybe on her screen. It looks purple on mine.
mine.
Oh, does it? Okay.
So
So
can you see the pink on yours now or no?
yeah.
Okay.
So
Probably has
just
to
so
do
a
with the
quick
screen.
reminder, which colors you're using at the moment?
Right now I'm using Doxidine Violet, which is a dark purple, and I'm using a magenta.
Gotcha. When you
Okay.
dip your brush in the water, do you blot some water off before you put the brush in your paint?
So no, I'll actually, let me see if I can show this on here, our lovely paint cup. So I just put the very tip in like that, okay? I go straight to my side pile and I pull it out like this, okay? So a little bit of water,
Okay.
okay? Yeah, that's one thing. I can't paint straight down because of my spinal cord injury. I have a disc shoved right in the middle of it. And so I wish that I could keep the cup there so you can see it. So guys, now I'm pulling a little bit of my orange, a little bit of my white, and I'm going to start, I'm getting a little bit of water. I'm gonna put that in there, okay?
Michelle said, how do we keep a little black around the silo while we are painting the sky?
Okay, so all you have to do, one second, let me get back over there again. So I have to pull my brush up. You're working wet on wet. Make sure that doesn't dry because it makes your life easier if it's still wet, all right? And then Michelle will show you. I'll go over to the silo again, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm gonna get a little bit of my orange, a little of my magenta. I want a little of everything there. And what I'm going to do is you can just run your brush here vertically. It's okay if you do it vertically. So rest your hand, okay, rest your hand, and then pull it back over this way, okay? So pull it back over here. You still have to go up higher as well. Pull over while it's wet and blend that out. So don't ever outline something all at one time because acrylic paints dry extremely fast and you won't be able to blend it out very easily if it is if it's wet, okay? And so then I'm gonna grab those 3 colors again, not that much white, tap that off. Okay, and then I'm gonna go here, lifting off, lifting off. I'm gonna start underneath, lifting off, lifting off. Let's give away another Casey Cash, and then we'll do a t-shirt after that.
Are you sure? Should we give away more Casey Cash? I don't think they want it. Do you think they want it?
You're so funny.
All right. Since you asked,
She's my sarcasm.
how about Wanda Keith Sharp?
Congratulations, Wanda. Do you want me to put the QR code up again? There we go. I'll put that up really quick and then I'll go back. We can't forget about this little spot in here. I'm gonna get a little paint in there right now. Okay. So just scan that and it'll take you to the app. Okay. And if you need to rewind or pause on Facebook Lives, you can do that on the bottom left. So here again, Michelle, I'm just lining that and then I'm pulling it over left or right. You can line this side too if you need to. And you need to pull a little bit of that color. Just take your pressure off, all right, as you come up. And then it'll just be a little bit of that color peeking through, okay?
Colleen asks, will this tutorial stay for a while so we can paint next month?
It will. And actually we'll add it to your library as well in your free library that you have with us. So we'll do that probably a week after the tutorial. So I'm gonna add a little bit of my flesh. If you don't have flesh, it's totally fine to just use a little bit more white and orange than you would the pink, all right? So
Any tips for painting loosely? Kathy says she has some issues painting loosely.
So we will go over that actually,
okay.
Yes. Like backgrounds, are you talking about, Kathy? Or are you talking about in general? Because a lot of this is going to be loose as well. So this you can kind of mix up a little bit as you get down here. I'm going to get a little bit of my flesh. We have a couple of sunsets that have flesh in them, and generally they're ones that have like orange in them. And I do like the transition of the flesh to the orange. I think it looks really nice and bright. Yes, we're going to go over a ton of different techniques, not just in this painting, but this painting has a lot of techniques in it. So lifting off, and so if this is extremely patchy, you can always come back again and run through this again, okay?
Now, we've had several people ask, they can't get the stencil or supply list and that type of thing. Do you want to, I know Haley is emailing on the back end if they need assistance.
Okay, so you want me to talk about that? Yeah, give
Yeah,
me
just-
1 second, let me finish this, and then we'll talk about that really quick.
Probably it's
Great question.
newbies pop on.
Yeah, so guys, as you're popping on too, make sure that you share the live to be entered to win a free month of HQ, which is instant access to like all our entire vault of paintings, which is a ton. Oh my gosh, this is the ground down here. I'm always walking around telling people in this class not to go down here. So the tree actually stops right here. So I'm grabbing a little bit of black. Well, oh, I didn't give you guys my talk, by the way.
Do you want to move the phone down?
Oh, is it cut
It's
off?
close.
Oh,
Very
we're
close.
stopping right there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just getting a little black in here.
Gotcha.
But I want to talk to you guys too about everything's fixable with acrylics, okay? So let me go here. So a lot of people are, when they're painting, like right away they'll be like, I ruined it, you know? Nothing's ever ruined. Every single thing is fixable. Everything. You can take your paint towel or your paper towel. We use these paint towels. You can see them, the link for them. We get them on Amazon, but you can wet it and wipe it right off. Even if it's almost dry, you can wipe it right off.
It's crazy.
Haley's.
Well, like I just see, it's hard to paint because you think, okay, it's on there, it's done, you know.
Yeah,
But you
so
just wipe it off.
you can wipe it off. It'll scrub off even if it's a little tacky dry. Haley's mother, she comes to classes and she'll be done with the painting and she calls it wet wiping. She takes a big cloth, wipes it off,
She
fills it
does.
up again.
And
Really?
Listen, we want to jump on her too when she does it. She's beautiful
You do.
paintings.
And
beautiful
you know,
paintings.
there's a video on how to properly
Yeah, they sent that to me 11:30 one night. They were in here with Debbie and they were making videos on it. It's so funny. So you can wipe things off. But with acrylics, it's just so forgiving because you can paint over something also. Don't ever be afraid to try anything. Don't be afraid to change anything because you can always change it. So if you still need to register for this boot camp, Beginners Bootcamp, and you want the supplies list and you want the stencil and you want the color mixing guide as well, just go to kckhq.com. In the center of the screen, like scroll down about halfway, it's going to ask you for your email address in order to get the free library. You get that instantly after you put, I think, first name and an email, and that's it. You get an email instantly. Where that email usually lands, especially if you have Gmail, is in your spam or promotions folder. So we get a lot of emails from people saying, I didn't get the email, but it does come instantly. And so look in your spam and promotions folder, because I think Haley gets about 800 messages a day on that,
And
maybe.
that's okay.
That's it.
I never check my spam and promotions folder.
Listen, when I think about a year in, I'm like, where's all my emails from KCK? Like our emails to myself, they were in my own spam. I'm like, how can I not recognize?
Right.
So check there. It's not you, it's them. That's
where it's at, yes.
They put,
Yeah, it's really weird how it filters, but any trouble, email me, I'll help you that day.
Yeah, let me give you the email address too. And Haley is so wonderful about helping people through technology. She screenshots everything. She helps all of us. And so please, that's what we're here for. She's so amazing with customer service. It's crazy. Like our members, like, just love her. And like,
I love our members too. I love everybody.
yeah, you're so wonderful.
I'm always like, Haley, help. I don't know.
Yeah, so she's like born to do what she does,
Yes.
I swear. And so what was the other question? Was that it?
Painting loosely, how to do that.
We're going to get to that after we
Okay.
get this in. Yep.
Is water and paint towel better than wet wipes from Sue?
So I've used wet wipes before too. That's a great question. So you can use wet wipes also. I think that they equally work well. Yeah. Yeah. Now the reason why I like a paint towel is because you can initially like wipe it off with the wet part and then you can just move it over to the dry part and dry the surface, that's all. But yeah, equally as good. Yeah.
Do you use a varnish when the painting is finished? If so, a spray or a brush on?
So we use a spray. Do you know where I have that over there? We actually moved it. So let me grab it real quick.
No, just tell me where it is.
So under the Bob Ross area, I have two different sprays. One you can get like from Walmart or a hardware store, and then the other, the Kamar varnish, is what I get from Amazon. And those are in our favorite things also. So if you go to kckhq.com, they're in there also. So you can check that out. Let's see if she can find it. You're not used to everything being so organized. We did organize it a little bit better over there.
Oh, hey.
Thank you, my friend. Okay, so the reason why I love this so much is because it actually holds the color, doesn't dull anything. It holds it for years. Like we use this on wood signs and everything. Yeah. This is another one. This has worked really well as well. This one is not in our links. We found it last year this past year when Kamar was sold out. And it worked really well as well. We used it on our wood signs and wood pieces. So these are extremely clear and very nice. Okay, so let me finish this one area next to, I think there we go.
It is 8:52.
Yeah, I just have one. It's 8:52. She's gonna keep me on track. Okay, so what haven't we given away yet? Let's give away a pack of our dome brushes.
Okay.
This is a 2-pack of our dome brushes. You will love these. They're like so wonderful to work on clouds and landscapes and like all kinds of stuff. So dry brushing, a lot of things. We'll show you how to use these.
Do you use the
this week as
sprays
well.
on the canvas as well?
I only do it if it's going to be in the sunlight. And I'm actually pretty bad about that too, because our ones that are in our front windows, I forget to spray all the time. Yeah. But you can.
Do you suggest spraying them outside?
Yes, so that gives me a migraine. So anytime we spray anything, it's outside anymore. I'm like, I don't take any chances. There's no time for migraines. Don't forget over here, plus people that have asthma, I really think that it can be an issue. So those things are strong. They're really strong.
Sean Jordan is the dome brush winner.
Sean, congratulations. So they're going to tag you with a Google form where you can fill out your address and we can ship that to you. All prizes will be shipped at the end of the week that we need to ship. Okay.
If you're using acrylic, why do you use the sealer? I know you mentioned this to protect from the sunlight.
Protect from the sunlight, keep your color fastness, and also say it's in a bathroom or something with moisture, things like that.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to. I would say 95% of my paintings don't have that on there.
Everyone said Haley's the best.
Aww, she is.
She really is.
So I'm going to just go down here. So I'm going to make my line vertically. Now look how light I'm touching the canvas. I'm barely touching the canvas. So I'm going to pull off, lift off, lift off. Now I'm lifting off, very, very lightly. Lifting off, lifting off. All right, we're going to go down to this brown line. All right. We'll be putting some grass here. And so I'm going to build that up a little bit. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to get a little bit of my flesh in there, a little bit of my white. But see how little paint I'm using? Like I'm not in a big pile of paint. This is enough paint for 10 paintings right here. I just always put too much on my plate.
I put too much on your plate.
Well, I always do too. So I've been trying to get better. We get trying to. I remember Katrina used to say that. Oh my gosh, the paint. But I'll scoop it back into the bottle when I'm at my, my home studio. Okay.
Do you do oil paintings too? Sue said, I see you like Bob Ross. Do you do the oil too?
How the Bob Ross thing started here was I did used to teach oils and landscapes, and I loved it so much. Big brush and a palette knife. And so people started bringing me Bob Ross items, and then it turned into, let's find something she doesn't have. And so I think we might have one of everything. Although people
you have a crock pot.
Yeah, we have tons of stuff. We even have a tree in here too, Bob Ross tree. We have a toaster, a crock pot, we have cereal, we have games, we have ornaments, we have puzzles, we have books, we have, I love it so much. And he's actually, there's 4 human-sized Bob Rosses in the studio.
Always scaring us.
Yeah,
think someone's like looking through the window.
Listen, it is scary in the dark, I have to tell you. Like, even as long as, we've been here and know they're there, it's still spooky. Okay, so don't forget about this little spot right here, all right? So let's fit in one more thing today, okay? I want to fit in something that most people are afraid of.
Oh, what is it? It's the tree?
Yeah, it's the tree.
Oh, it's the tree.
Yeah. Because I'm going to teach you how to make some beautiful trees. So
At least it doesn't have leaves.
I have the sea sponge, so it doesn't have leaves, but I'm going to show you how to put the leaves in with the dome bristle brush and the sea
Well, that
sponge.
doesn't sound too hard.
Yeah, well,
Not like the little swoopy leaves.
don't you think that she should be on the show? It's so
Who,
funny.
me?
Yes, you.
Thanks.
She's very animated. I love it. Makes me laugh.
Well, I have the same questions they have, so it makes it.
I do love that.
As a beginner, I need to learn some stuff.
I love that. Thank you.
I'm still learning.
But I just look at you. It makes me laugh. Look, my plate just went. So my plate looks really nice now.
I love that.
Sorry.
Are you gonna save that paint for tomorrow, or what are you gonna do?
So we can, yeah. So you can put that in a Ziploc bag. It'll stay all week. So you
Like
don't
a
have to
gallon
waste
size?
anything. Yes, a gallon size. Yes. Okay, guys. So we are going to. Let me draw it first. Did I bring a handy dandy marker here? I
hope
did.
so.
I did.
Do you ever turn your brush over while you're painting when you seem to run out of paint on the side you're using, or do you just reload when you deplete the paint?
So I generally reload, but if there is extra paint on the other side, I would use it. So there are cases that I use it on the other side, but a lot of times I'm just pulling a little bit of paint out, and so then I don't because there's nothing on the other side, and I'll show you that as well. Okay.
Okay, and then Ludi said, my paint doesn't cover the black. I feel that I'm constantly going over the same color, or it's drying out on me. How do I keep it from drying?
So you want to put that tip of your brush into the water. So you want to go and make sure you dip it just in the tip and then put it in that side pile. I do that 2 or 3 times before I take it to my canvas and start lifting off. A lot of times on a black canvas too, you'll have to go back over that 2 times. And if you notice, I did go over the areas a few times to make sure it absorbed the color. Especially if you have a drier canvas, that can be frustrating, but make sure you have a little bit of water in your paint. if it's not covering the canvas at all, you have to pull in more water.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now, how do you know, since we got a couple questions right now, since
Okay.
Beginners Bootcamp and all,
Okay.
how do you know when to dry brush as opposed to wetting your brush each time?
Okay, so dry brushing is when you have to leave a little bit of.
But how do you know when to do it?
How do I know when to do it? Because when I need to fully saturate is when I will put water in there.
Okay.
And then when I'm dry brushing is when I leave, say I'm on a black canvas, I need to have a light touch and let some of that darkness show through. And I need to build up color in other areas. So
That was
yeah.
Judy's question.
That's a great
But,
question,
yeah.
Judy. Great question.
Okay. What were you going to show on the...
Trees.
Oh no. Oh boy. All right, we're ready. We're ready.
Do you want to give away a t-shirt?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Teresa Connor with the t-shirt.
Congratulations, Teresa. Shouldn't she be like a game show host or something? Haley's laughing the whole time. I can't look at you guys.
So, Teresa, you want her to send... Or you're going to give
I'm
me the
gonna
link?
give you
Teresa, would you prefer a lift-off shirt? Would you prefer the pink shirt or the black shirt? You can pick.
Include
We
that
have
in
them both.
the Google link.
Yep.
The Google
Yep.
form. So
Yeah.
your size, they run true to size. And they're both really soft materials, and they run true to size.
Cool.
Okay, I can't get it back on there. I'll just put it down here.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so let's go here. Let's try to get one more thing in. Do you guys mind if we get one more thing
No,
in?
it's 9. You're good.
Aw, you guys are so nice. Look,
So the
everybody
retarder is the same as floating medium, different names by different manufacturers.
Yes. So the retarder that, it's already on there. The retarder that I use that I have, I don't keep it in the studio. We generally don't need it in the studio, but if there's something that I want to use a little retarder for, it's a clear gel. You pull it in 6-to-1 ratio. So I don't measure it out or anything, but I'll pull a little bit into my color if I have a really dry canvas and it's driving me crazy and I'm doing something very like a detail or something. You pull it in there, it'll soak into the canvas a little bit more. It doesn't change your color either if you use it like a 6-to-1.
6
Yeah,
to 1.
so mine is a golden product.
Gotcha. And what purple did you start out with tonight? That was the
Dioxazine violet. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What'd
any
she
dark
say?
violet would do.
All
I
right.
don't have my words either.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's go to trees.
Okay.
Well, let me talk about trees first. Okay. So generally when someone makes a tree, these are things that you need to know. Trees are generally bigger on the bottom. They go up smaller on the top. Even birch trees, they look like they're exactly the same, but they're just slightly a little bigger at the bottom. Also, when you have a branch to a tree, you need to start out with a little bit more pressure when you're at the base of it. You're also making a Y. You know, a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to make a T. You want to make a Y, and then you're going to lift off and wiggle as you go out. When you're putting this tree together, you want to make sure you're watering down your paint. Where you want it thicker so you don't have to do as much work, you press harder so it gets wider when you're pressing harder, and then you lift off and wiggle, and it'll get thinner when you lift off, so you have that feathered mark at the bottom. If you're pressing hard, you're going to have the same width, you know, the whole way through. Also, don't go thinner to thick. And when I show you, this will make much more sense. I always draw it out for my class first, and then we paint it together. I don't have anybody that has an issue with the tree, and so I don't think, you know.
You haven't seen my trees yet.
Listen,
That could be your first.
The reason why she's saying that is that whenever she first started coming to the studio, we stole her so fast. She is a support person for Erica who works here. She has special needs, and we stole Rebecca into her madness, and we're like, hey, do you want to help us part-time? Hey, can you come all the time? Hey.
I'm like, hey, I don't paint, but I guess I'll learn.
so
So here I am at Beginners
we
Bootcamp.
sucked her in. That's how we sucked Haley into classes. Then we stole her. Yeah. That's how we find all of our wonderful people. We don't, so here at the studio, I'll go back one more time. Here at the studio, we have, between the people who work offsite and in the studio, 27. We have about 27 individuals, and 2 with special needs, and they do a fantastic job. So what I was going to say is we don't look for people that are talented, and that's, you know, the most talented person to come work for us, because I know that's teachable. We look for the kindest person, the person that makes someone feel at home here, makes someone feel good. And so when I see that in people that come to the classes, like Rebecca and Haley and our other people that work here, those are the people that I invite to be on our team, because we want everybody that comes in through the doors and also online in our membership to know that this is our happy place. They're our painting family, and we want them to, you know, really be lifted up and enjoy their time with us. And so that's how we find our people. So we suck them in when we see our
we're sucked in.
We suck them in. Okay. All right. So say we have a tree here. I just have a Sharpie. I love Sharpies. All right. So we have a tree here, but it's not going to make it wider whenever I press harder. But what I want to show you is the difference between making a Y and a T. Okay, so say I'm making this one here. I'm going to press a little bit more at the base so this is wider, all right? As I come out, I'm going to wiggle and lift off. You need to feel your inner bob right here, okay? Feel your inner bob. So when you come back to this, I'm going to show you the no-no of what you don't want to do. You don't want to make a T there. A lot of people want to make T's. I'm telling you, it's just a natural thing. They make T's there. What you want to do is you want to make a Y. All right, so I'm going to make a Y. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make a Y. But I want another one up here. I'm going to make a Y. All right. Also, your pressure is always a little bit more at the base. You're going to go from thicker to thinner. All right, thicker to thinner. All right, so I would press harder here. So this is all thicker to thinner. All right, and so say I have a little piece coming off here, make a Y. All right, so say I'm going up here, and then I'm going to make my Y's. You can make Y's from those Y's. Of course, you can cross over everything as well, but you always want to press more at the base and then let off as you go up. For some reason, to show people on, you know, with marker first is so much easier for them to recognize how to do it and practice it. So say you're painting your trees for the very first time. I don't suggest going right to your painting. Practice it. Even if you're painting on a piece of paper, I know it's going to be a different texture than what you would normally, but practice it. Okay, so I'm going to get my 1/2-inch brush. Don't mind my plate, it fell on the floor. I'm going to get black only. All right, here's another thing. When you're making a trunk, start thinner instead of thicker. You could always make it bigger. It's harder to make it smaller. You can always fix it, but...
And the chalk pencil you use, you can just, if you leave a little bit of an outline, that's okay.
Yeah, so...
Because you can just wipe it off.
Yeah, so I don't like to go around things, but if you are more comfortable, you can actually, you know, if you wanted to trace this or draw this in first, you can draw in the tree. Let me make sure you can see everything there. You can draw in your tree first, and you're always going to have a Y somewhere at the top as well. I like to make my trees look like they're going off the canvas, that they don't just stop. But if you're more comfortable sketching it in, which probably most people would be, just instead of freehanding it, but in our classes, we do have everybody freehand their trees, basically. So I'm just going to, don't forget about this side. I'm going to have a little going off this way. We're going to use our flat brush to put in the trunk of the tree, all right? But I always say, if you're not going to draw it in first, to start out smaller, okay? And then you can always make it wider. You can also, if you wanted to draw your tire swing here, I do suggest, like, a lot of people have trouble with like making circles. Just trace something around this size, like your paint cup or something like that. Not your actual cup, like drinking cup. Like if you have a 2-ounce paint cup or something small.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we can put that in like that. I feel like my tire's too thick.
It's always easier to make it smaller.
It is. It's true.
Make it smaller to begin with.
It's true. Okay, so what we're going to do when we start the tree is we're just going to use black first, okay? So we're going to use black to put in the tree first. And I'll show you how to scuff just a little bit of color on it to make it look 3-dimensional, all right? You guys need anything?
No, we're good.
Let me make sure the whole thing's in there. A little bit is cut off. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to pull my black out, and I'm going to go here, all right? I'm just going to use the skinny part of my brush, and this'll just need I don't know. This will need probably 2 coats. I kind of moved it over just a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know if while you're painting that, if
Sure.
you're able to chat about
Yes.
quickly how you got started into painting.
Oh, that's such a great question. So
That's from Leanne.
Hi, Leanne. So I went to school 30-some years ago to college for the arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts. But I didn't do anything with it. I had a different business. And my son, when he was 7 years old, started battling a very rare illness. And it was awful. And so we were in the 4th year of that. He was the second one in the world to have what he had. So they didn't know what the masses were. And we went through like 4 spinal surgeries and a million, treatments, and it was pretty ugly. And I was in my 4th year of that with my son, and we're just using this for the bigger part of the branches, and then we're going to move to a script liner, guys. And then so in the 4th year, so I'm applying more pressure towards the base, so it's a little wider. I'm using my flat brush straight up and down. Our brushes have real nice edges on it, so try to find a brush that has a real nice edge on it, okay? So we're not going out and doing all the small ones right now. But so in the 4th year of that, I asked my girlfriend, I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, we're either home health care in the living room, we had a PIC line and everything, or we're at the hospital, what can I do, And so she's like, start painting or drawing when he's resting. So I started drawing people's children to thank them for helping us. And then when my son started getting better, and he just graduated high school, he's in his 1st year of college, and he's here with us. He's our miracle.
Love
to say
him.
the least. Thank
We
you.
all do.
Thank you. He's such a good kid.
He really is.
He is. We're very blessed.
I'm not crazy
But
about
our children.
kids, but he is a good kid.
Thank you.
And he's not a kid. I mean,
I know.
he's not a kid, but like, I
He's
guess
all
to
grown
me.
now. I know.
To us.
And
Yeah.
so that,
No,
like, the very
he's-
last year when he, was after, everything started going better, and after his last big surgery, my friend had asked me to go teach. We're gonna leave this like this, guys, okay? So just leave that. We're gonna use a different brush. But my friend asked me to go teach at the Christian Academy and teach her. I had drawn her children first because she kept Katie a lot, and she was always bringing things and always doing stuff for us. So she asked me if I would come in and teach the kids how to paint. And I remember this to this day. They're these little owls, and the kids are 3 and 4 years old. And there was a lot of them too. And I loved it so much. And they painted beautifully. Like, they listened to every single thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I love them so much. And so I posted on Facebook. And so all these other schools, like preschools and elementary schools, started asking me to teach. And so I just kept posting on Facebook. I loved it so much. And then we had some girls where their moms asked me to teach their kids out of my house and how to paint. And Eliza was one of them. And so most of the girls that we have to this day have been with me since we started. And this was just like 7.5 years ago. And within it was 30 to 45 days, we had a wait list of, I remember the number, 43 kids that we could not get in the house. And so we leased space. I went to meet with this board at a church, and I was like, listen, we put everything into getting my son well because so much was out of network. We had to send his bone and tissue all over the country. And I was like, we're really on a budget. And is there any way we can lease, your downstairs? So you used to have a school in there. And so it was all empty. They didn't have a school anymore. I'm like, can we lease your space? Leave all our stuff there, but just pay $25 a class. And I was like, if you do that for us, like, I'll do like a whole, what I did was a whole concession stand, and we donated everything to the church. And then they had a big room upstairs that we could lease for $100 if we had a big class where they had weddings and stuff. And so within about 60 days, we were teaching about 100 people at a time. This was pre-COVID. It was crazy town. So then we're setting up there, tearing down, setting up, tearing down. And then it was interfering with their weddings, and because we had so much. And then we found the other space that was right up the road afterwards that we leased. And then 4.5 years ago, we found this building. The owners of this building finally retired after 50 years and put the building up for sale. And we're here, and we love it. And we bought this building, and we're in a beautiful 13,000 square foot dream studio. And if you would have told me 7.5 years ago that this is where we'd be and this is what we'd be doing, and I'd get to do something that I love every single day of my life. I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, it is amazing that, I mean, painting really brings a lot of people together, and it takes the stress out, and it gives you something to focus on in this crazy world.
Yeah.
Post-COVID world,
Yeah.
COVID season 5, whatever it is.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So, it's helpful. And if you're stuck in the house, if you are, we have a lot of friends who are retirees, they give them something to do. We did have some folks that wanted to see your chalk pencil.
Oh, do we have a box here? It has red paint all over it.
I can go
now.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is in our favorite things. It's in our favorite things. It's in our favorite things. So this, I'm gonna go here. Sorry, I got teary-eyed. It truly is. This chalk pencil, by the way, is my favorite chalk pencil. We've went through, because we've drawn thousands and thousands and thousands of canvases. Like, we went through a lot of chalk pencils. This is Marco. It's a Raffine by Marco. It does take a little while to get in, like a week usually when you order it on Amazon. Don't drop them. They break like crazy, and so then you have to sharpen them over and over and over again.
The pain of sharpening those things.
I know.
But the lighter you draw with them, the less you have to sharpen.
Yes,
So that
it's
is
true.
good.
We love them. We stockpile them. If you go to our website, it's under my favorite things. Yeah. Maybe Rebecca doesn't love them as much because they break. Because I actually accidentally drop them all the time. What do I use to clean my brushes? So I use this right here. Okay, so this is not under our favorite things. I don't think I linked this in there.
Is that new? That's new, right?
That's newer.
Well,
Newish?
it's not new. It's just not under there.
Or new to you?
This last year, this is the
Yeah,
one I've been
yeah.
using. Yeah, so newer, yeah, that's for sure. The Masters brush cleaner, you can find this on Amazon, and I literally just run the water, and it's wet right now for me. I was painting right before. Right before this, so it's like, oh, wait, there's the water.
Ew.
But I just scrub. This is what I've been using a whole year, and I paint every day.
You can use that for a whole year?
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's so cheap too, and so it keeps the brushes really, really nice. Very, very nice. Sorry about the water.
Hey, what's
We're gonna
that?
get another one. So then we're gonna go to our script liner. So if you don't use a script liner, we use a script liner in every single painting. Every single painting for a highlight or a low light, not just trees. So I'm going to show you how to make these thin branches with this, and this part, the rope on our tire swing as well. So we had our brush line manufactured. We had our bristles made because I couldn't find exactly what I wanted in the market, and finally, was it midsummer they came out? I don't even know. Yeah, I think it was midsummer.
Yeah,
the first
like
run.
August.
Yeah.
First run.
And so our script liners, so what I found over the years, the reason why people didn't like script liners is they were too bendy. If they pressed too hard, people's pressure was too hard, then they would like bend all around, okay? And so they didn't like it. So our bristles, I had my brushes made out of a bristle called Torre, and it's very soft, yet it has a little bit of like stiffness to it, and I love it
Is
so
it
much.
from an animal? Or is it vegan?
I think it's synthetic. Yeah, so it's not from an animal. But
Because the boar bristle ones, are those really from a boar?
I don't-
Like, those are questions I don't, in Beginners
Yeah, I
Bootcamp.
actually think they are. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they probably shed a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, that one did actually. That was a Princeton brush that I loved.
Oh.
I love that print. That's in our favorite things too, I think.
Gotcha.
But anyways, ours is a little bit stiffer, so it makes you laugh. And so people love this one. So I'm very happy that they love the script liner. We don't have anybody that says now, I don't like my script liner. We used to use, I love the one that I used all these years, which was a golden Taklon that I bought from Jerry's Art Aroma. And I have them here in the studio as well. We did switch to these ones, but I didn't have any problem with it. But a lot of people didn't like it for that reason. So I'm going to wiggle and I'm going to lift up. You need water. See the side pile? You have to water down anytime you're using the script liner. You still look your face when I talk to you. Okay, so I'm lifting off. This is lifting off. You have to have water. All right, water is your friend. For this anyway, not when you're dry brushing. anybody have any questions? And you can overlap things as well. You can have some like short ones also. Ooh, do you guys want to see how to add leaves to this, even though there's not leaves in the original? Or should we save that for tomorrow? What time are we
Let's
at?
say that for tomorrow. We're at 9:18.
Okay.
Michelle asks, how do you clean the brushes that have buildup in the bristles that's hard? Are you able to save those?
So you are able to save those actually. So there's a couple of things. So we will soak them for hours in like Dawn dish liquid if somebody didn't wash a brush. Like, you know.
That happens.
I was just going to say, the very first week that we had the new brushes out, we had like 8 brushes that had paint left in them that they didn't wash them. And so we definitely soak them to save them. So my angle here, generally this is what I would do. Let me just move this because I want a better angle here. So I'm going to show you what I would do because I like to.
Should it be really watery or how you feeling?
So we don't want it to be watery to the point where it's gray, but we want it watered enough that it's going to move and go on easily. Okay. Gotcha. And so I can hear you.
That's just me.
I know. That's why you're so entertaining. You are.
No,
I think
filter, Rebecca.
I
That's
might
who
be
am.
boring without Rebecca. I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm lifting off. Say I want this to go out a little further. Tomorrow I'll show you, in case you want to put leaves on this tree, you know, I'm going to show you how to use the dome bristle brush that we have and the sea sponge. So you can see different options of like adding leaves to trees. Because I want to cover as much as we possibly can for you. Okay? And so let's also use this brush to put our line. So this is where you definitely don't want it to be wonky because your tire swing, because of the gravity of the, you know, the rope needs to be straight, you know, coming down. If you want to know how to paint a rope that looks a little bit more realistic, one that you can look at is our cowboy gnome.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good one for that. Okay, so make sure you have your hand anchored here as well. We're just creating more of a silhouette. And then I'm going to get a round brush. So a round brush is just a pointy brush. We have 3 of them in our pack. This is our larger one. And so I'm going to use this to put my tire in. Okay, same thing, just a little bit of black. All right, a little bit of black. So let's give another prize away.
Real quick, where are we from, Casey?
We are about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh, PA.
In Newcastle?
Newcastle.
Is this technically
PA.
Newcastle?
This is Newcastle.
This is Newcastle. Yeah, she's from Boardman, Ohio.
I'm from Columbiana.
Close enough.
Listen, so.
I was voted biggest hometowner.
No way.
And I live in Boardman, so I don't want anyone, next time I see these people.
I have to move this up so not stupid.
I moved 20 minutes north,
Oh, jeez.
so I'm no longer biggest hometowner.
Okay.
What was the prize you want to give away?
So what haven't we given away yet? What do you think?
A 10-pack. Or we were saving that for for maybe tomorrow.
Whatever
sure.
you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Do you want to give away a free tutorial we can drop in someone's library?
yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. How about Deborah Paul?
Congratulations, Deborah. Let's do a couple of those.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, if you just keep chatting, I'll just chime in with a name,
Okay.
if that's okay.
So I'm starting out skinny on my tire, and then we can make it a little bit thicker. Same kind of thing with the tree, you know? And if you're not comfortable with circles, just trace something that's round. You know, when I started, I had drawing classes for an after-school class, and we met, you know, for a month on how to draw people. And that's where, when we drew noses, because it has, you know, has to do with circles, that I realized that that is a real struggle for people to draw circles. So definitely trace something if you need to.
Robin DeBee or DeBy.
Congratulations. So
Free tutorial.
are we just going to surprise them with the tutorial, right?
Yep.
I think my tire's still too skinny, so you want to do one more? Well, I paint this out.
Yeah.
It's too skinny. I'm going to go around one
Carolyn
more
asks, how often do you do in-person classes?
time. So we have at the studio maybe 4 days a week. In season, about 7 days a week, probably. In season is generally about mid-October to November. Through December, we're crazy people.
Yes.
And oh, by the way, we didn't mention, so we actually, about half of our members are business members. And so when they're in our HQ membership, they have the, sorry.
I pronounced it right
They
the first
have-
time. It was DB.
They have the license to teach our paintings in their own in-person classes. And so about 50% of our members are at-home painters. The other 50% are business members. I teach them how to build their businesses. We have a whole video series in the membership as well on how to build your business, how we went from working out of my house to here in a short period of time. And then we also have a mastermind, like we just did that. And then we have a couple follow-up months for that. But there are so many videos in there about the business. And then also you don't have to come up with your own designs because you have so many to choose from. So I didn't mention that earlier.
Blocking you?
Oh, you're fine.
Haley's next to me. Do you want to talk to Casey? Was I in the way?
No, I
So the
was
question-
looking at
Okay.
I'm like,
So do we have one more minute? I'll just highlight the tree.
yeah, highlight
Yeah?
the tree.
Okay.
It's 9:25. Take us a couple. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you guys get all the prizes?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, if you're just jumping on, make sure that you share this live. We are going to have prize wheels on after day 3 to give away free months of our HQ membership.
The last tutorial for Diane Daniel.
Congratulations, Diane. So guys, here, what we're going to do, I'm glad I wore painted pants. Okay, so right here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of color, not a lot. It's going to be brighter where it's a little bit more light coming through here, so on the right side. But what I do, and I'm gonna pick this up, is I start a little bit, hold on one second, let me move this over. I start a little bit on the inside of the black. Do you see we have very, very small amount of black showing on the edge? Don't worry about the branches just yet, but we're just gonna scuff a little Van Dyke brown with white, which is your dark brown with white, and you can use a little raw sienna too, which is your light brown as well, okay? So we're gonna scuff. So I'm gonna use my 1/2-inch flat brush. I'm gonna grab a little bit of my Van Dyke brown, a little bit of my white, okay? Kind of like tap it off. You don't want a lot of paint, all right?
A little
So-
off topic, but what is a mastermind? What do you
Oh,
qualify as a
sure. Mastermind is where we had our business members that flew here for the mastermind too. So we worked with each other for 2 days, and then we also have follow-up Zoom calls, and it's so we can work on growing their business. And so we work on all aspects of their business and how to grow their business, and also answer any questions they have and tailor it to where they are with their business. We have a lot of people too who never thought that they were going to teach painting classes, and they end up teaching painting classes. They start out as an at-home painter, and then they start teaching. So many people.
Yeah, once they get the
drop it.
hang of it, they're like,
Yeah, exactly. It's so awesome to see. So guys, I'm going to start right in from the side. Do I need to zoom on here, Rebecca?
yeah,
Can you see?
probably.
Okay. Let me zoom in. It's a big canvas, but maybe I can.
Do you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, that'd be great. Just make sure you zoom out, because do you want me to move this over a little, or are you okay? Is that good?
Good.
Good. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm just pulling a little bit of white, a little bit of brown. All right. You can use a little raw sienna too if you wanted to. And so I'm just gonna scuff. And I'm using the brush vertically, okay? And I'm not making stripes right next to each other. What I'm doing is I'm scuffing, like starting at different points each time. Always brighter here on the right side. And then also down towards the bottom, you're gonna follow shape. So I might curve out a little bit there. You're just giving an implication of bark, okay? And then what I do sometimes is I'll go back and grab a little bit more white. Sorry, there's a big truck at the intersection. Grab a little bit more white and start there again, and then lightly scuff as I go out. I can clean this up just a little bit right here as well when I'm done. I kind of slap that in there really fast.
That's all right.
One of our, one of our painters had a shirt made that, with all the sayings that I say, I'm gonna move this up. And, this last year, for people that are like OCD, which listen, I've painted things where I've painted every hair or spot on a dog, every wrinkle on a person's face, every crease, like, so I understand that. But there's times that we want to paint very loosely and relax a little bit more. So if there's something where we don't want to focus on making very tedious strokes, I'll just tell them to slap it in there. So they add it.
Are you using water now?
Nope, no water.
No water.
No water. So first I work on the trunk before I go to the branches, all right? Remember, brighter on this side, darker on this side. So the side you feel that the most light is hitting, that's the side that's brighter, okay? Okay.
We can't see the bottom of your tree. I don't know how much longer you're gonna be towards the bottom.
So it's right there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I left a little darkness there. Now I'm gonna come up. I'm only gonna go to the bigger parts of the branches with this brush. So it'd be a little bit brighter at the top, and you're scuffing. Take your pressure off as you go down. So much about painting is pressure. So much, so much, okay? Don't go into all those branches until we have our script liner again, okay? So I'm just getting a little brown with white, just because we need a smaller tool to get in there. Just scuff it. Just need a little implication of light, not a lot, okay? Just scuff it. And now I'm gonna take my script liner out of my cup and wash it off, and I'm just gonna get a little bit of that white with our brown. This, you do need a little water anytime you use a script liner. I don't think there's any time I've ever dry brushed with a script liner, okay?
Now, when you dip it in the water, your water is dirty.
It doesn't
Does that matter?
No.
Does it come off on the paint at all?
No, even when you're working on something that is, you need a really good white, or you say you're throwing snow on, not throwing snow, but you're putting snow onto your painting, and if your water's dirty, you really can't tell. Thank you.
Sorry. Overstep.
No, you're fine to the camera.
I'm just
No, I
grabbing
need you.
things.
I like when you
It's just easier
make
than
sure I'm not
interrupting.
zoomed out.
It takes a second.
And then and then we want to put a little
Yeah, 'cause that was
bit
like now.
of light. So I'm like maybe like a gray onto our little rope here. And then we'll get a round brush and maybe scuff this just a little bit, okay? And then we will call it a day. All right, how do you guys feel? Any questions on what we went over today? Okay.
Wow, that looks great.
You're so nice.
Now, what do you do with those chalk lines that are hanging out?
So chalk lines just brush out. So
Oh.
don't see how they just wait until your paint's dry, wipe them off with either a damp cloth, or I'm rubbing them out with my finger. Like they just, it's
You ready
very
for me
easy
to
to get
zoom
rid of
out?
them. Oh yeah, thanks. You don't have to zoom out too far though, but because we're gonna go on the tire swing really quick. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, so on the tire swing, we just want to add some light. Let me show you. We're going to add a little bit of light, still leaving some black in there, okay? And what I'm going to use, you could just use any round brush, but we have this brush in our 10-pack. And this is actually a really small, we're zoomed in, a really small flat brush. But you can use a round brush for this, but I find this really good for dry brushing. And so if you had a small filbert or any small flat brush with shorter bristles, that would work. But the round brush that I was using, what did I use that for? We used a round brush for something earlier.
Don't ask me.
I don't know, but we had this round brush out. With
What if
black
you have
paint.
the lines with the carbon
You can
paper?
use that.
How do you get those out?
So you have to paint on those.
Paint
so,
on the
yeah,
carbon paper
you're gonna have
lines?
to paint. Yeah, so you'll have to take a little bit of black and go over that with your script liner, because those generally don't wipe out. Whoops, I want to get a little gray, so let me get a little white here.
What
Yeah.
temperature is the water in your cup?
So that, I just don't make it hot. So other than that, this is anything like room temperature. Yeah. Also, something you want to think about, because we had to think about this with Members Weekend as well. If you're painting, for a long time, try not to have like ceiling fans on and stuff, because it will dry out your paint. Leave a little bit of the, the black showing. Well, I thought about that for Members Weekend, because then they're here all day, and I was like, we have to turn off those fans that are up there. Just a little bit of white, kind of like stuff around, okay? Just so you have a little bit of light hitting that tire, all right? Do we have any other questions? I'm gonna go here.
I think we're okay. And if anyone has any that we didn't get to,
Let me pull this around.
pop them in the comments.
I'm excited. We have a lot of things. Let me pull this down. So this interchangeable frame on here, my brother makes these, and they're on our app. Haley has like 15 of them.
You have a frame problem.
She just went,
I
so you can pop, there's all different colors, all different stains, and you can pop these
Handmade.
in and out of the back. They're handmade. And a ton of our members have them, but I thought this one was perfect fit for this. This is like a burnt wood one. They're on our app also.
Does he burn the wood?
He does burn the wood. Yeah, he just
dangerous.
burns more tonight. So you can find those like on the app as well.
Haley will take 3.
Haley matches up every single painting with, but you can't unsee it without it
You really
after
can't.
you see it. So this is where we are today. So what you can do is you can put your black back in if you went into your silo, so you can do that as well. All right, so we're gonna work on more techniques with our brushes tomorrow, and then also work through the painting. So what I'm going to talk to you about is like highlighting and low lighting. Also, this is dry brushing, this cement silo on here as well. You're going to see how beautiful gold looks on green as well. I'm going to show you how to build up a red truck. We have a lot of red trucks in our membership. In our vault, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's so much fun. Oh, hay is made with a rake brush. You're going to learn how to use a rake brush. I'll show you how to make grass with a rake brush too if you want, and then I'm going to show you how to make very impressionistic flowers, and then also how to make something look round, how to build a barn.
It's always tough.
How to put in a foreground. Remind me, we will do a loose background on another canvas, because this one doesn't have a loose background, so I'm going to teach you that as well. If there's things that you want to see over the next 2 days too, and I can fit it in, I definitely will. But we're going to go over a lot of tools to add to your painting toolbox. And if you think of anything, you let us know. Okay, yes, this one is a 16 by 20. I think
I typed it in. After that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw 16
I said
by
I
10.
mean 16 by 20.
You
Yeah.
can edit that.
Oh.
Yeah, if you want to. That's so funny. I didn't know it was you. I just saw it.
It's me.
So guys, if you have any questions, email us. If you have any trouble finding your library, email us, okay? And then here's our website. If you still need to sign up for a library, you can do that as well. If you want to take a look at our app, or if you want anything like Casey Cash, you want to do one more Casey Cash?
Sure.
You can drop $5 in. Okay, you can just scan the QR code there, and it's for free.
Somebody
Go ahead.
asked what a rake brush is. I don't know if you want to show one on the.
Yeah, I can show one. I
thingy.
have one right here. Okay, so this is a 1/4 inch rake brush, and so right here. Okay, and so it looks. We always say, "Oops, I'm zoomed in still." We always say that it looks like it's chewed. I don't know if you can see that. And so we use these for making fur, hair, feathers. All of our gnome beards are made with rake brushes. You can make grass with rake brushes as well. You can make hay with rake brushes. This is in our pack also, and so we love using a rake brush. Now, also, what's not in this painting is using a fan brush. So can you make a note of that too?
Yeah.
We'll show a fan brush. This is made out of hog's bristle. The soft fan brushes do not work well for what we do, so you always want to get one that's made out of hog bristle. This is in our pack also, okay?
Okay, Kathy Miller is the last $5 Casey Cash winner of tonight.
Congratulations, Kathy. And they're going to give you Google Forms, guys. So whenever you sign up for the free app, what you do is sign up for the free app, and then I could drop it in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do much other
No,
than that.
you don't have to do
but you
much.
have to fill out your Google form. That's what I was going to say. I lost my words.
Oh,
At the
sorry.
end of the day, we
I
lose our
can't
words.
read them in your head to help you, so I don't know.
So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Oh,
Eastern.
8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Write that
Okay.
down.
If you have any questions, just let us know. I loved painting with you. I hope you enjoyed it. And anything else?
That's it.
That's
all I
it?
got. Yeah.
Okay.
If we missed your question, we will try to get to them in the comments.
Yeah, and remember to share the live.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye. Bye.